After the defeat of the androids in Cell, the group takes a trip to Namek, wanting to get another set of Dragon Balls. While there, Piccolo gets his potential unlocked by Mori, the new Elder. But it goes much differently than he expected. Now back on Earth, Piccolo wants to train BROLY, hone his power even further. He's confident that his newfound power will be enough to actually restrain BROLY, but little does he know, his power is far greater than he could have ever expected. We'll be covering what happens next and more in this part 5 of What If Goku Found BROLY Early. Piccolo didn't even realize that he transformed. That explains why his power was so high and he didn't even realize it. He's had this power ever since Mori unlocked his potential, but he never actually used it because he never had a chance to actually display his full power. He didn't realize he got a whole new form from it. But he tells BROLY, it's just like he said before, he's confident that he could take BROLY on in his full power. Especially with this transformation now, it should be very clear that he could hold his own. BROLY is still concerned, but Piccolo's already given him enough reasons to go forward with it. And he reminds BROLY, they won't make any progress controlling that power if BROLY doesn't want to utilize that power. If not now, he's going to have to use it sometime down the line. Alright, well, Piccolo keeps saying that he wants to try it, so BROLY goes for it. He transforms, going into his full power, and Piccolo tells him to unleash more power. He knows BROLY's hiding it, and not only does BROLY transform, but he charges up more ki, growing angrier and losing control. BROLY fully charges up, launching in towards Piccolo. Piccolo surprisingly defends against one of his attacks, and he's amazed, not only at BROLY's strength, but his own strength. He didn't realize he grew this strong. He saw BROLY fight before, and he's only grown stronger since then, and the fact that he's able to contend with him here, it's huge. The two giants start brawling, and nearby sensing this, Vegeta flies over, wanting to watch what's going down. 16's there with him too, since Vegeta said he could probably try and analyze the fight and learn from it. But Vegeta didn't expect anything like this. Piccolo has a new form, and the power that they're giving off, it's unfathomable. It shows Vegeta how truly far behind he is. He thought he was the top dog before, especially because BROLY couldn't utilize his full power, but now, BROLY's starting to learn how to use it. Even if he's at his very early stages, he knows Piccolo will probably be able to find a way. And even disregarding BROLY's power, look at Piccolo. Vegeta and 16 watch on amazed as the fight continues. And Piccolo is actually able to subdue BROLY eventually. BROLY ends up de-transforming, but Piccolo tells him to transform again. He subdued him out of the transformation, but that's not what he wanted. He wanted to subdue him in the transformation. They're gonna have to work through this, and he tells BROLY to go back into it. And as Vegeta watches, he realizes he needs to train way harder than he has been. He needs to ascend Super Saiyan somehow. And even though it might be a big blow to his pride, he knows someone who can give him some pretty valuable info about that. Goku. Now we enter a brief time skip. But even though it's a time skip, there's a lot of important events we gotta cover during this time. First of all, Goten's born finally. And there actually is kind of a change here. With Vegeta being so much more motivated to train, that rubs off on Trunks, which rubs off on Goten. But there's also something else. Goten is growing up with Goku, who's already allowing Gohan to stay motivated and keep training. So it's a much better set of circumstances for both Goten and Trunks. But more starts changing with Goku and Vegeta as well. The rivalry between them grows even further, training together alongside Gohan. Gohan's the first to unlock Super Saiyan 2. And not too long after, Goku follows, then Vegeta. And Vegeta's lead in terms of power eventually goes away, with him being around even with Goku and Gohan being above them. And Gohan's seen BROLY's potential. He wonders if his as a hybrid is the same. Who knows how powerful he can get too. Both Goku and Vegeta push him further, which is pretty surprising because now Vegeta and Gohan actually have some sort of a rivalry. Not as noticeable as the one between Goku and Vegeta, but it is there. All of them are growing stronger, which is great. Even 16 gets upgraded. Vegeta asks Bulma to do this and she's glad to do so. This way he can keep up with Vegeta and the other Saiyans, and remain as a training partner so he doesn't have to train with Kakarot all the time. And he's amazed at how strong Bulma's able to make 16. But of course, that's not all that's going down. Piccolo and BROLY continue training together, and eventually, Piccolo's plan works. He's able to get BROLY to control his full power, no longer losing control when transforming. They did it by doing exactly what Piccolo explained in the last part. First, he had to work on completely mastering Wrathful, starting from the ground up. After that, it wasn't too hard to get Super Saiyan under control next. And now, finally, his full power form is used without anything held back, as it should be since it's his full power. BROLY even tries to obtain Super Saiyan 2, but his Super Saiyan form in general is so much different than theirs that they can't really work off that. If that's something he actually does want to achieve, and if it's possible, it's going to take a bit more effort. But at least he already has a level beyond Super Saiyan, and not to mention, his Super Saiyan is already superior to the other Super Saiyan forms. So it's not like he's missing out on too much by not getting this right away. In terms of power, here's how I'd rank it. BROLY would definitely be at the top. And not too far behind him, probably even equal to him, is Piccolo. Then right behind that is Gohan, who has Super Saiyan 2, followed by Goku and Vegeta, who also both have Super Saiyan 2 and are probably on equal footing right now. And another person who's equal to them is Android 16, since he's continuously upgraded to keep up with Vegeta. Then behind that, with a pretty decent margin, is Paragus, who we'll end up covering in a bit. Behind that is Goten and Trunks. And instead of Trunks being the stronger one, Goten's actually the stronger one here. But it's also worth noting that Trunks is probably considerably stronger than his normal self in canon. So I'm not making Trunks weaker, I'm just making both of them way stronger. But besides just powers, another interesting development happens. Well, a few. For one, Piccolo and Broly actually form a bond, a rivalry, a friendship. Piccolo still does train Gohan from time to time since he is still a student of his technically, but he actually spends more time with Broly too, especially since Gohan's going down a path with more training with Goku. Their bond is still there, and that's actually how Gohan gets a little bit closer to Broly, seeing his power too and making him wonder if he could do something similar. Yeah, he knows he doesn't have that weird mutant green-haired form or whatever, but he comes to see how high his potential is in comparison to Broly and wonders if he could reach that same height. And Goku's amazed to see Broly's growth as well. It's a strange, unexpected rivalry and friendship between Piccolo and Broly, but not too weird considering the same happened with Gohan. And as for Paragus, there's a reason he's so far behind the others. Besides him getting such a late start, there's also a few other things going on. He's calmed down a bit. He won't catch up to Vegeta and he's kind of accepted that. He'll never achieve his vengeance, and at this point, he's not even sure if he wants it. I mean, he's grown accustomed to living here on Earth, and he's tolerated Vegeta. Both Vegeta and Paragus are better people now, I guess. And as much as it pains him to admit, Paragus is too far behind the other Saiyans. He seemingly gets over his grudge, and he doesn't really give up training, but he doesn't do it as frequently. Even after unlocking Super Saiyan, he just knows that it's not really worth pursuing too much. Yeah, he is a Saiyan and likes fighting after all, but who is there to fight here? Earth is a peaceful place. This is a much different environment than what he grew up in. Being a soldier on planet Vegeta. This is a completely different lifestyle, so naturally it affects his outlook on everything as well. And another factor comes into play too. He's not too close to it yet, but he's getting close to the point where he's going to start rapidly aging. Less than a decade out, actually. So that means he only really has a few years of youth left. Well, not really youth, more so his prime. And with such a peaceful place around him, he wonders if it's really best to spend these years actually holding a grudge and trying to grow stronger as a Super Saiyan, only for it to be a fruitless effort and for him to be behind even further. I mean, he's glad he has the power as is. He never imagined himself as a Super Saiyan. He is surprisingly content, and instead, he wants to focus on more peaceful activities. He becomes somewhat of a normal citizen. What would he do as a job, though? He probably wouldn't know either. Maybe he'd be a security guard for Capsule Corp at some point because that's really all he could find at the moment. But as a hobby, he starts taking up golf, the perfect middle-aged man sport. And just like Yamcha really excelled at baseball, Paragus with his innate power might be able to really excel at golf, even though that's a much calmer sport that doesn't really rely on power too much. But still, he is naturally an advantage above everyone, so he'd be a very great golfer. Maybe even going pro, and that could be his job, a pro golfer. And he absolutely loves it. He stops training as much to fight and trains more to golf. But he still will be training from time to time. At the end of this time skip, that's one of the points where he's training, or at least observing training. Broly and Piccolo have another training session. This time they just want to spar a bit. They don't need to control Broly's power any further because he already has it controlled. He still does want to pursue a form beyond Super Saiyan. And just like many times before, Paragus actually ends up watching this sparring match. Hey, even if he can't participate, it's still fun to watch. But as the two of them are fighting, they then hear Paragus screaming, and Broly's immediately alert. He looks over to where Paragus is, and Piccolo's attention is diverted there too. There's a pillar of golden ki. Why is he going Super Saiyan? Paragus then launches into the battle, now in Super Saiyan, going to attack Piccolo, and Piccolo immediately notices something's changed about him. His energy's different, but also, there's an M on his forehead. They have no clue what that is. The two of them haven't transformed fully yet, but it's not like they really need that. They just need to subdue Paragus here, figure out what's going on. Piccolo's able to get a hold of him, asking Paragus what the hell he's doing. Paragus grunts and tells Piccolo to let him go, powering up further and releasing himself from Piccolo's grasp, and he jumps back, staring down the two of them, while powering up further, and for a moment, Piccolo and Broly then sense another power nearby. And even Paragus is shocked. Someone appears behind Piccolo. Piccolo immediately feels something pierce his side, and starts feeling drained. Broly turns over. He sees a giant pink man standing there, definitely not human. Angered, he powers up into Wrathful, and he tries to attack this guy, but before he can land an attack, he disappears, being teleported away. That was of course Deborah, teleported in and out by Bobby. And Broly looks down at Piccolo. He says he's okay, but for some reason he feels weaker, like his energy just got stolen or something. What the hell's going on here? They're being attacked by someone, something, and they turn to Paragus. They ask him what the hell's happening, and he tells them to be silent for a second. Someone's coming, and this is exactly what he was promised. Promised? What? By who? Another power then flies over, with someone following behind him. It's Vegeta, and 16's following behind. And 16's attacking Vegeta. Broly looks up in awe as Vegeta gets closer and closer, and then realizes he's coming to attack Broly. Vegeta's already in Super Saiyan 2, so Broly powers up into Super Saiyan, guarding against this. Vegeta has that same M on his forehead, but 16 then lands nearby. He says something's wrong with Vegeta, and then notices the same's wrong with Paragus. Piccolo notes something's changed about both their keys. And 16 can't necessarily analyze what's going on, but he's getting weird readings from the both of them. Vegeta declares he's here to finally fight Broly, and then Paragus says that's not going to happen. He's going to fight Vegeta. Both of them were possessed by Bobby, with Paragus being given more strength so he could fight Vegeta, and Vegeta being given more strength so he could fight Broly. Bobby was able to exploit both of them. Even though their grudges were both seemingly gone, they still were there both buried deep down. Broly tells 16 to get Piccolo out of there. 16 says he's gonna need help, but Broly says he'll be fine. He's sure about it, because not too long after, they sense somebody else coming in. This time it's actually allies though, Goku and Gohan. They sense a battle going on. At first they thought people were just sparring, but it felt a little bit more serious than that, especially because Vegeta eventually came over too. And they sense powers coming in and out with Piccolo's then disappearing. They're concerned, asking what the hell's going on. Broly says even if he had time to explain, he couldn't really tell them what's happening. He just says he'll need their help here. Majin Paragus and Majin Vegeta stand together, and the two almost fight each other actually, because Paragus does want to fight Vegeta. But then they turn over to Goku, their attention's diverted. Paragus knows he can't win, and now he has an idea. This was also another one of his targets, and another one of Vegeta's targets too. Someone else who they could prove their superiority over. They both have somewhat of a grudge against Goku, especially here because he's getting in the way of their battles. Well, that's fine. They'll get rid of Goku together, the enemy of my enemy. And then after that, they could duel with whoever they want. He's just gonna be annoying here, same for Gohan. Goku and Gohan have no clue what they're talking about, but they power up into Super Saiyan 2, with Broly also powering up. He says he'll only use a fraction of his power for this. He's grown powerful and doesn't need to use his full strength. And they definitely will be able to stop this. The 5 Saiyans all charge up, getting ready for a battle, but just before that happens, Paragus lunges in, about to punch Goku, but then someone stops him. It's a shorter guy that teleported in, and he's barely able to block the attack, almost being overpowered by Paragus. And everyone stops in their tracks. It's Shin and Kibito, and no one has any clue of who these guys are. They're completely confused. Paragus tries to fight the two guys, telling them to get out of their way, with Vegeta even aiming a blast at Shin ready to kill him. Broly then knocks Vegeta away, protecting those two, and then asking who the hell they are. He wants to know too. Shin tells everyone to stop now. They're falling right into Babidi's plan. It seems he definitely coordinated this. I mean, there's 2 Majin servants here, and he attacked without any sort of warning. They didn't expect him to attack so soon, but it makes sense with how strong everyone is here. Not to mention, they saw Piccolo being taken away by 16, so someone already had their energy drained. Vegeta and Paragus tell them to shut up, but before they could attack, Goku, Gohan, and Broly defend the two guys. Wait, who's this Babidi guy, and what kind of plan does he have? They're concerned now, but the Kai say just to stop fighting. They can't give any more energy. Wait, what? They try to explain as quickly as possible. Babidi is gathering energy to awaken an ancient evil. That's why Piccolo's energy was stolen, and that's why they're getting everyone to fight here. He gave Paragus and Vegeta more power, exploiting their darkest thoughts and grudges, using it to turn them against their own friends. But it might already be too late. Far away, they sense an ominous energy. It can't be that quick. Did this group really have that much energy to steal? They didn't even really start fighting yet. But Shin looks around him. All of them are fully powered up besides Broly. And even then, without his full power, he's still giving off a huge amount of energy. Back at Babidi's ship, he's elated, seeing the amount of energy that Piccolo had. This is way more than he expected. It gives him over half the energy he needed, and then some. That was just from Piccolo alone, from having everybody else power up and fight. Even briefly, he was able to gather even more energy, but he sees the fight has stopped. Oh, the Supreme Kai is here. Thankfully, he's able to easily coax Vegeta and Paragus into fighting a little bit more, just to get a little bit extra energy. The others are able to stop Vegeta and Paragus, but they continue fighting, and it's already too late. The ominous ki grows even stronger, and eventually, Shin realizes it's the worst case scenario. Change of plans. Continue fighting. Wait, what? He just said don't give off any energy. It's no use now. Shin tells him it's too late. Majin Buu is awakening, and they're gonna need all the power they can get. They need to stop Vegeta and Paragus, and then they're gonna have to go in and fight Buu. Unless they want the Earth and everything else to be destroyed. Piccolo's retreated with 16, but Kibito flies over to him, telling him to come back with the others as he then heals Piccolo. Piccolo wants some answers as to what's going on, and Kibito says he'll get them soon enough. The energy grows even stronger. As far away, back at Babidi's ship, he's laughing maniacally. He and Dabura watch on with delight. It's finally happened. They already got the energy they needed. That was really quick. A giant plume of smoke shoots up as Buu then hatches from his egg. The Majin has finally been reawoken, and this is where we'll leave off for now. What do you guys think is going to happen next time? What do you guys think about this part too? Let me know any thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As always, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.